Goblin.
So they just lied about what it was. This sucks. We want the H-1B program to be scrapped. They say we're going to charge people money. Well, not nearly as much as they said, and we're not even charging the current visa holders. It happens every week, guys. Every week. Fell for it again. Like, you just can't trust anything that they say because they lie. They lie, they overpromise, they underdeliver. They promise you one thing, then they pull the rug out from under you. And I hope, at the minimum, this is a demonstration that I'm being objective, selfishly. Because when they announced the policy, I said, this is terrific. I've been critical of the administration, but this is a step in the right direction. Well, you just can't believe anything they say because, well, it was a lie. So we fell for it again. I normally don't fall for it, but this time I fell for it. They lied. 3 days later, we found out it's just not even real. So I don't know if we'll have time to go deep into it, but if we do, we'll cover that as well. Those will be our two big news stories for the night. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the episode tonight. Before we get into the news, just a couple of things to get out of the way. I'm a little bit tired. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know how I'm doing right now because I am exhausted. I traveled back today from Florida, sort of a last-minute deal. I flew out this weekend to Fort Lauderdale to do the Patrick Bet-David PBD podcast, and it debuted this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's already at 1 million views, which is unbelievable. I think the premiere peaked this morning at 70,000 live concurrent viewers, and then it just kept blowing up. It's been live for about 12 hours. It hit 1 million views. It's one of the bigger shows. It's unbelievable. And so I just got home today. I'm a little exhausted, but I hope you all love the show. We finally got it together. As you know, this has been a highly anticipated collaboration. My fans have they really been giving Patrick Bet-David a hard time, asking him at Turning Point, and people were coming up to him at the Charlie Kirk Memorial saying, when are you going to have Nick Fuentes on the show? And it was already in the works. And so they called me up last week and they said, can you get out here as soon as possible? I said, well, given the climate, I said, I'm taking care of some security things, but we got it together pretty quickly. And so I flew out there. We did the show last night. Like I said, it came out this morning. And I have to say, I think it went great. I didn't really know what to expect. I've never talked to Patrick Bet-David before. I've never had a phone call, text message, never met him. But I thought it went great. I thought it was a fair, objective interview. And I saw some of my fans, they said, well, we've heard a lot of these stories. In fairness, he was going through my backstory because, well, we never met before. But I think that was actually a good thing because he was introducing me to his audience. And he, and I think a lot of the people in his audience, they don't know anything about me. And all they know, and I think maybe the same is true of him, is what they see in the clips. What they've heard, what they see in the clips. And you know how the clips are. They're funny, but they're also provocative. And it's colorful language, and it's hyperbolic. And if you only saw the 30-second clips, you might think I'm a lunatic. You might think I'm a total maniac. So I think it's important to do these kinds of interviews where you sit down with no preconceived idea. You don't come in with a loaded gun pointed at the other person's head, metaphorically, ready to read them the riot act. You said this, you said that. Are you racist? Are you a Nazi? I think it's important to have these kinds of conversations where you sit down and you say, where did you come from? How did you develop your views? What are your views?
Yeah, that was actually a really fantastic interview. I would highly recommend everyone go watch the Patrick Bet-David Valuetainment Nick Fuentes show. That was high quality. He did dive deep into Nick's past, and it wasn't super confrontational, but he didn't like let him off the hook at all. It wasn't like super duper softball.
No,
It was good.
I thought that Patrick actually was really holding it down for the whole community.
For sure.
Background. So I thought it was a really good preliminary interview. Again, for people that maybe don't know about me, don't know my views, maybe they never gave me a chance before. And even for him as a guy, like I said, we never had contact before. I thought he was very fair, very objective. We walked through the timeline. We just leveled with each other. And I was honest with him about kind of how I came to be the way I am, and not just my political station, but also my political views. And I think he was honest with me too. He had some constructive criticism. And as you know, the N-word cast a long shadow over this encounter. I like to use that word. He hates the word, doesn't like the word at all, doesn't think I should say it. And he gave me his feedback on that. And you know what? And I take the feedback. I take it in the spirit it was given, which is, you know, he's older than me. He's built an incredible operation. Guys, you should have seen it. It's unbelievable. They've got this massive complex. They got a gym. They got a computer room, studio. I mean, it's unbelievable. They have like an army of people. It's one of the most impressive operations I've seen. And anyway, I don't know how I got on that, but point being is I respect his opinion. So, of course, I have my style. He has his style. We come from different generations, different countries. I'm from Chicago. I'm a little animated. I'm a little colorful, right? But he gave me his feedback, and I take it in the spirit it was given, which is, I think he cares about America. I think he cares about the state of the discourse, which is obviously the subject of the discourse now with Charlie Kirk's assassination. And as an older guy, you know, I respect it. You know, he's an elder. So I appreciate it, actually, in a sense. So I thought it was great. I like him. This guy, he's a big guy. I've never seen him before in person, but he's like a gangster. He's like a big guy. But I like his energy. And I have to say that in the right-wing space, you come into contact with a lot of different kinds of people. I really like the people on our side.
And Patrick Bet-David is based. He's just got like Chad energy. When he was like, my thing wasn't really drugs or like gambling or anything like that. It was just women, dude. Just women. I'm like, damn, it's actually a relatable Chad.
Yeah.
I don't always agree with them.
His sidekicks are actually entertaining too.
Oh yeah, I like Vinny.
Yeah, like Vinny
Vinny.
and the Democrat guy or whatever. Whenever you get them like arguing, it's like so fun.
On everything, and I'm extremely political. I'm extremely religious and right wing. But what I mean by that is, in the right wing, we are overlapping with the UFC world, with guys like Jake Shields, the poker world, guys like Dan Bilzerian, and there's some other gamblers, like some of the super chatters on this show. And you also have some of the business people, some of the grind set guys like a Patrick Bet-David. And I have to say, what they all have in common, a guy like a Jake Shields, a Dan Bilzerian, a Patrick Bet-David, is with each of these different domains, whether it's the fighting, poker, and everything that Dan does a lot of stuff, business, is I like that they're all straight shooters. They're all like no bullshit. You know, there's this level of positivity. It's what they do is generative. It's positive. And there's also there's kind of this culture of, we're just going to talk. It doesn't need to be politically correct. You know, there's no pretense. There's no beating around the bush. And so I like the energy. Even if, like I said, there's kind of a generational difference and a stylistic difference, he's got a good energy. I like businessmen. I like fighters. I like gamblers. I like these kinds of guys. So I thought it was a great interaction. I liked him a lot. Got a really good vibe from him. I got to see our friend Adam Sosnick again. And he did not disappoint, you know. He's a funny guy. So it was really solid. I really enjoyed my time down there. And he said he wants to do another one. So I put out on Twitter, I said, thank you so much for the fair interview. And honestly, this is the other thing I want to say about it just quickly. You really got to give him a lot of credit. I know on our side, and I get it, I know a lot of the Groypers, they're demanding, bring Nick on the show, and please don't stop. I love it, and we need that. You got to understand on the other side of it, these other people, you know, they've got employees, they've got a business. It's risky to have me on their show. As you know, it's a real risk. And credit where it's due. Think about all the people that have platformed me over the years before this stuff was popular. I think about people like Myron, Sneeko, Pearl, and there's so many, but I think about those three in particular because they all had me on their show in 2022, 2023, really right before all this stuff became mainstream, and they got shot out of the sky, every single one of them. They got in right before it became mainstream, literally right before the censorship led up, right before it became popular. And so it's all, in a way, it's sort of like tragic. It's like Pearl, her whole company blew up. Myron got demonetized. Sneeko lost his manager, tons of different stuff. And so it really does come with a risk. You never know what you're going to get. And those are just a few. There's so many over the years that have lost something for having me on the show. And so you look at a guy like Patrick Bet-David, he's got to be sitting there thinking, I don't know this guy. The guy kind of comes across like a troll, like a jagoff. I don't know if he's going to come on my show and be a shock jock. Am I going to bring this guy on my show and risk, you know, he's got responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, even for smaller channels like this one, guys, like I've had some clips that got like community guideline taken down because they were Nick Fuentes clips. So don't think that like you can just like host stuff. You actually have to do reactions and like be transformative in nature. So I know because a lot of people are like, oh, just post mirrors, like just don't even react. And we're like, that's not what the channel's for. So
it really actually does take a lot of integrity to go out on a limb like that for the sake of the conversation. Because I am one of the most talked about people right now. There is a lot of interest. I am in the middle of many different conversations about Israel, about black crime, about Charlie Kirk. I'm in the middle of a lot of it. People want to hear from me. People want to hear, who is this guy? And so, you know, there's really no business upside. People say, well, he's going to get a lot of views. He already gets a lot of views. He's got millions of subscribers. It does actually take integrity and courage to bring me on the show for the sake of you want to get to the bottom of the conversation. You want to find out the truth. You want to do a service to your audience to bring interesting guests. I give them a lot of credit, and I think the Groypers should as well. And I also just want to reiterate in general, the Groypers are very intense. We have to be just as intensely positive towards people that do the right thing as we are negative towards people that do the wrong thing. You know, Groypers are quick to critique and quick to judge. We should be just as charitable and kind to people that do the right thing. And so I hope everybody shows him some love. Go watch the interview, comment on it, follow him on Twitter, check it out, because we want to build bridges. We want to get into the mainstream. We want to be a part of the solution. We want to be in the action, you know, and that means we have to have a mindset towards that. So anyway, so I really do appreciate him having me on the show. Credit where it's due. And I said it's the gold standard because not many other people are doing this right now. And, you know, I don't want to call people out, but Piers Morgan said I'm banned from his show. Other people have said the same thing. Tim Pool won't have me on the show. Patrick Bet-David is a huge show, and he brought me on, and I appreciate that. And here's a guy, you can really give him credit because he runs the whole and I know I'm like doing tricks on it right now. I know I'm
Tim Beanie Pool. God, like.
I mean,
Tim,
if there's there's anyone who needs a Nick Fuentes collab, it's fucking Tim Pool.
God, Tim Pool is absolute brain rot, dude. I can't stand that channel.
Blazing, but this is important. He had on Bibi Netanyahu. He had on Nick Fuentes. He had on Thomas Rousseau. Everybody and their brother is calling Patriot Front Fed Front. They're federal agents. How many of them had the founder on the show, uncensored, and ask him questions? Are you a Fed? Yes or no? Why? How many other people have platformed, and I'm not even the guy's biggest fan. That's integrity. Dan Bilzerian and Netanyahu, Thomas Rousseau and Nick Fuentes, Donald Trump and Alex Jones, Andrew Tate. I mean, they're racking up everybody on that show. So credit where it's due. I'm not just glazing. I do think that's admirable. So anyway, so check it out if you haven't seen it. Like I said, if you are a Groyper, you know, you've heard a lot of the stories before, but it is a good conversation. So check it out. That's that. And I'm looking forward to the next one. He said he wants to do another one. I would love to do another one. And maybe we could get on the next one into some more of the current events, more of the political issues. This one was just a lot of background and backstory. But anyway, so check that out. The other thing I wanted to get into very quickly.
Yeah, I think Patrick Bet-David's show is just great. I think that he's had a hard time making up his mind with a lot of issues, and personally it's interesting to watch Patrick's show, just because not only like his personal development when it comes to issues, but also his co-hosts. Like, I like Vinny a lot, you know, like, interesting to listen to.
What's interesting about Patrick is he's one of these rare guys who, like, he comes off as like an alpha.
Yeah.
But if his friends disagree with him, then he'll actually change his mind sometimes.
Yeah, like Nick was saying, he's not super close-minded. All right, guys.